Electoral reforms. Ex-APC spokesman Timmy Frank petitions Trump. Welcome back to Royal Media. Thanks for always being here. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the channel that brings to you verified news. Former APC spokesman has petitioned Trump over electoral reform because Nigerian democracy is facing threats. For this reason, that Trump should intervene. So guys, let's listen to the detail of the story. A former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress APC, Comrade Timmy Frank, has petitioned United States President Donald Trump, warning that Nigerian democracy was facing an existential threat and could descend into chaos if alleged plan to manipulate the 2027 general elections were not stopped. In an open letter dated February 7, 2026, Frank accused the ruling APC and the leadership of the National Assembly of plotting to impose a one-party authoritarian system, a move he described as political genocide against Nigerians. He called on Trump and the international community to urgently intervene, cautioning that failure to act could lead to widespread unrest, violent conflict, and a breakdown of law and order ahead of the 2027 polls. Nigerian general elections scheduled for February 2027 are under serious threat. If current developments are not addressed, they may result in widespread unrest, possible anarchy, and a breakdown of law and order, Frank warned. Frank alleged that the Senate leadership was deliberately undermining electoral reforms meant to curb fraud, accusing lawmakers of systematically removing a key provision of the Electoral Act 2022, which he claimed reflected the will of over 80% of Nigerians. The ruling party, working closely with the Nigerian Senate under a highly compromised Senate president, has begun laying the groundwork to manipulate and rig the 2027 general elections, he alleged. According to him, the same provision was ignored during the 2023 general elections, an exercise he described as deeply flawed, and is now being dismantled again to consolidate power. The former APC spokesperson also criticized the outcome of the 2023 presidential election, citing voters' turnout figures and observers' reports to question the credibility of the process. The current president was declared winner with only 36.61% of the total vote cast, from an eligible voter population of over 93 million. These figures alone raise serious concern about the credibility of the process, he claimed. Frank referenced reports by international observers, including the European Union Electoral Observation Mission, which highlighted transparency gaps and operational failures, as well as calls for the U.S. State Department for improvements by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. He urged the United States to consider measures against the Senate President, whom he accused of spearheading efforts to disenfranchise Nigerians. The current Senate president appears determined to use his position to silence opposition voices and disenfranchise Nigerians ahead of the 2027 election, Frank said, adding that the 10th National Assembly was widely viewed as one of the weakest in Nigerian history. Frank, who currently serves as the United Liberation Movement for West Papua ambassador to East Africa and the Middle East and senior advisor to the Global Friendship City Association USA, further alleged that key state institutions were being pressured to entrench partisan control. The ruling party is actively engaging in what can only be described as political genocide, using intimidation, coercion, and pressure to control the military, police, judiciary, and other institutions of states, he claimed. He also accused the federal government of spending millions of dollars on lobbying firms in Washington to polish its international image instead of tackling insecurity and governance challenges at home. This administration has spent millions of dollars hiring lobbyists not to improve governance at home, but to launder its international image and avoid accountability, Frank alleged. Citing testimony by a former U.S. ambassador at large for international religion freedom, Sam Brownback, Frank said the Nigerian government had failed to inspire confidence among international partners. This government has not given us any reason to trust them. Brownback was quoted as saying. Frank urged Trump and U.S. lawmakers to be cautious in this engagement with the Nigerian government, warning against any action that could legitimize what he described as illegality and oppression. Any blanket endorsement risks legitimizing illegality and opposition in Nigeria and oppression in Nigeria. He warned, adding that timely U.S. intervention could help preserve stability in West Africa's largest democracy. He concluded with a plea for international support to ensure credible election and prevent Nigeria from sliding into authoritarianism. Continued disregard for this principle may spell disaster for an already fragile nation under the watch of the international community, Frank stated. So guys, what's your take on this? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We sincerely appreciate you as you listen. Thanks so much.